everyone, and welcome to the KoloCast, weekly podcast here hosted on the Kolosseum, where we get to know someone a little bit better here in the community. I'm your host, Mr. Aquaman. My co-host here in the KoloCast is none other than Flashyy. What's going on, buddy?
I never get tired of hearing that, man. Aquaman is super excited for this week. Listen, we got a very interesting guest because I only ever commentated one time in my career, and I was lucky enough to be able to sit next to this individual. Please bring him in and let's talk all about it. Who do we got today?
Our guest today is going to be none other than my co-host of the Kolosseum Season 2 Mortal Kombat 11. It's going to be Tento. Welcome, Tento. Really good to have you.
Hi, everybody. What's going on? Appreciate you guys for having me, Flashy. It was a pleasure commentating with you. And it's always a pleasure commentating with you, Aquaman. Honestly, it's on my it was on my bucket list for the longest, so I didn't ever tell you about that. But like, yeah, I got it all. So yeah.
Let's go! Making people's dreams come true. The Kolosseum way, baby. Welcome, Tento. Thank you so much for being here. Tento, let's get started, guys. You know, newer to the community, you are commentating. You had to have started somewhere. It's an origin story I definitely don't know, and I would love to hear it. So tell us about it. Where did you begin in this space at all?
So when you come in like to the FGC, it was actually it was so crazy. So back when I was in high school, it was my sophomore year, on Xbox, they allowed you to get Ultra Street Fighter 4 with the gold pass. So me and my Call of Duty friends, we all started playing Street Fighter. But then I was the one that, me and my other friend, we got heavily invested, but I got the most invested. And I was like, oh my God, there's tournaments like every goddamn weekend? Like all the time? These guys playing for money? Like what? And then I got into Evo, and then I saw Evo for the first time. I saw GamerB going against Momochi, and then all that for Street Fighter 4, and I was like, bro, this is crazy.
That's some of the stuff that got me in.
Like, and then I was like, man, I'm invested. And then I was like, I wonder what game I could start with. MKX dropped out with Fade Away. I watched Fade Away, and I was like, bro, like these are what they do. This is what they do. I'm like, I can get in on this. I can get in on this action. I can play. And then I started playing and learning about the game and whatnot. And then I met Full Auto. Full Auto I consider him my mentor. Odie Full Auto sat there. He was like the first like top players I saw when he was doing the ESL and whatnot every week. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm playing Full Auto. And then he's like, hey, yeah, let me teach you about frame data, pokes. Let me see you go to jail. And then he got me started with everything going on. But ever since then, when that happened, I've just been literally just a spectator. I always just pretty much watch every tournament, every like weekend. The Commonwealth, as you know, Winter Brawl, what else? Texas Showdown. Any tournament that I looked up on Shoryuken that I saw for the weekend, when was it coming up? Make sure I have it.
Real quick, Tento. I never do this, but you know what? Just for you, I'm gonna do it. There's something I keep close to my chest, but always off camera, so no one ever gets to see it.
Oh my God. Bro, that grand finals with DJT and Sonic Fox was just so crazy. Tweety was going nuts, just like, it was just such a great time just watching that, thinking back on it. And then like I remember what I told you about it, he was like, wait, you were around for that? Yeah, I was just been a really quiet person. Like that's what dealing with my social anxieties part of things. Like I didn't like know how to just put myself out there, like talk to people. But everybody in the community was nice. Like I remember when I first met you. I think I met you first time at Combo Breaker 2017, right after I graduated high school. I asked you for a picture, and I forgot who the person I took you a picture with. I'll send you that picture later. It's gonna be funny because you're gonna look at it, you're like, oh my God, that was you.
Oh, and I mean, I know I'm a different person from then, so I mean, let's go. I would love to see it.
You can find that.
If you get it to me in time,
I already have it. So just like,
send it over. I'll overlay that so people can see it.
Later, but like, that's when I pretty much met everybody, and I realized like this community is nice. It's not nobody big headed here. I have like I can literally count on my hand how many bad interactions I've had. But I most likely caught them at the wrong time. But like literally, everybody was welcoming. Community was great. Got to meet KP, Big D, Tekken Master, like literally everybody at the event. That's when I was just like getting myself up there. And then that's when Injustice 2 and MK11, and Injustice 2 and MK11 when I started commentating. So when it came to the commentary side of things, Injustice 2 when it came out, I was like, okay, this game is great. I was a Batman main. I'm sorry for anybody that doesn't like Batman, but you know.
Just fucking press and trait.
Jump 2 boys, press a trade. That's a win button. I get a free trade. I win. Got to playing with him, and then MK11 came out. I was like, okay, this is my time. I need to actually I know a lot about the community. I know I have a good voice. I want to commentate. I want to commentate. People like you inspired me. KP inspired me. Other names like Yipes, Tasty Steve. Like like I said, didn't just watch MK, but I started off with Street Fighter, which is why I play on analog stick, by the way. Which is
Wait, what? You play MK11
360
analog?
The Flash, you was actually
360 pad?
at MK New Jersey. It was hilarious because I was playing casuals, and Unjust and Kakoi was watching me. And they was like, "You play analog?
Bro,
It's a crime. Like it's a crime.
Is a crime.
They looked at me and they were like, "How are you playing on analog?" And I was like, "I started off with Street Fighter. Like it was just
Was it
easy
on
to do
Xbox?
Yeah.
360 as well?
So I was like easy with those
why?
quarter rotations, and I was like,
it was up here.
So MK, that's why I kind of got the quarter rotation. I was just used to the analog stick. People look at me crazy, but then shout out to my boy DSV Basics, that one LCQ for Injustice 2 with the analog stick. It works,
dude.
It works.
There's
I know the history.
I've
been for a minute. It works. I'm just saying. So
Bro, okay, let's move away from that blasphemy that we just heard. I want to talk more about, you mentioned something interesting, how you're always more so just a spectator, and then you were kind of dealing with that social anxiety. I think that's important to talk about because I feel like that's something that isn't talked about much. So could you just kind of talk about in your head?
Yeah, so like when it came to social anxiety, so like backstory wise, just a mini backstory. I had a cousin who was basically my babysitter. He's my older cousin. He was the only child, so he had literally every game console in his house. Talking Wii, PS2, Nintendo 64, Pong, all of it. Ooh. So 9 times out of 10, because he was the only child, he was slightly spoiled. He wouldn't let me play, but he would let me watch. So I will always watch him play. And the reason why I enjoy watching people play, which led me to commentary, is like in my head, I know what I'm about to do in these situations. I know how I handle this. I like to explain how other people are going to handle that situation. That's why I like commentary. It's good to see from a different perspective what's inside somebody else's head and how they're going to handle that situation when you know you're going to handle that situation. That's why I love commentating so much. And that's why I like seeing this is what they were thinking in that moment. So now I had to mix that in with like, okay, I know how to play the game. I know my game plan. Let me see if I can put my competitor mind alongside my my commentator mind to combine it. And then they'd be like, what would they think in that situation? They were probably thinking this. Those situations, that's what I love about it. So then my social anxiety came in. It's like I was always really a quiet kid. I didn't really talk too much. I was bullied heavily, heavily throughout my younger childhood a lot, and a little bit through high school as well. So I usually just stayed back and stayed quiet, which is why I just stayed quiet when it came to community as well. Just wanted to sit back and observe. And like I said, I was 15 when I started, and I didn't start actually talking and making a name for myself pretty much until I was like 20. So yeah, that was a long time of me just sitting there just observing what was happening at FGC. So yeah, my social anxiety definitely has gotten better. Commentating has definitely made that also better too, because learning to speak in front of people. When I was in high school, I was a leader of my announcement team. So that's how I really, if I messed up in announcements in the morning at school, everybody heard me. So that's how I got past that social part. Nice. So then when I commentate, I'm like, this is no different than that. So that's why I felt more comfortable.
Wow. I was about to say, because the two things you said, having social anxiety and wanting to be a commentator are two forces that like fight each other. Yeah. It's the biggest collision on planet Earth, because, one of the things I want to get into is, as a commentator, when I talk to people, one of the number one thing that should come with a warning label about even trying commentary is that you're going to take the absolute brunt force of all criticism, behind every, if you do a top 8, if you do a stream and you commentate it, 9 times out of 10, it's the first thing someone hears, when they turn on the video, when they turn on the stream, and it's the first thing that if they don't like, they're gonna bitch about. And so you just take the full force of that. And so that had to be really hard, because there's coming out of your shell, and then there's being in front of thousands and thousands of people watching from home, potentially screaming at you, but just potentially, and overcoming that had to be crazy.
I was trying to figure out what was my biggest event. It was either CEO or honestly Frosty, because at Frosty, most people don't know, I don't just commentate MK. I also commentate on Dragon Ball FighterZ as well. That's also another game I do commentate. Hey. And I think Frosty, it was at about 1,000 views. I didn't see too much. See, the thing is, you're going to have Twitch chat. Twitch chat usually got a bunch of trolls, but for the most part, it's fine. Now, them YouTube comments.
YouTube comments are spears to the heart.
The YouTube comments, that's a whole different story. When you look at a YouTube comment, it's man. You have to think, okay, first off, let me turn off my brain to see if I can understand what they're possibly saying.
Is it spelled right?
Like
Oh,
you will see essays about one thing you did wrong. You said something was -5. See, I told you it was a math.
Listen, man, this is -6, and this is why you should be fired immediately.
This is why you burning the deepest parts of hell, because you forgot one number. It's like, man, and then like I also see it during the Kolosseum as well. I'll be looking. I ain't gonna lie. I look through the Q comments. I'm like, man, people. I'm sorry, but then that's one thing I had to realize. In this community, I realized one big thing is that, and also this actually helped me in life as well. You cannot please everyone.
No,
ever. You cannot please everyone. You will break your back and break your spirit trying to please everyone in the room. You have to understand that not everyone will like you, and it is not your job to please everyone. Now, I'm not saying that's just an excuse to be an ass, but but you have to realize, do not stretch yourself thin doing that stuff. You can't.
Yeah,
just be the best you can be.
And Tento, I'm telling you from experience, man. I've seen that. You know, I've seen people not be able to get even just past that, right? When it comes to commentary, and they let those negative comments get to them, and I see people get torn apart for that. And so that's one of the huge first steps I feel like as a commentator is being able to have that kind of thick skin that's needed to be in that spotlight, to be at the front. And then the rest kind of falls into place, I feel like, after that, and a lot of that comes with experience. But I feel like that's that first big step that you got to take, and you've taken it, my friend.
Yeah,
Frosty Fausting's big tournament, CEO.
Huge.
I mean, that's a big stuff.
But like I said, it was also like me starting off in school. Like what I said when I was doing announcements and like in front of like everybody in high school, that really was a big thing because like there was some times I messed up on the mic, and the people was like, "Who's that dude that messed up?"
You gotta own it though.
Or like,
you gotta own it.
And then also I commentated what's it called, football games as well as track meets as well. So like it's I had that sense of
cool.
If I mess up, everyone in the stands are gonna hear me. So like, don't mess up. And the same thing comes here. I just use that mindset so I don't get too bothered by that. I don't fall into the pressure part. The comments, I'm like, not everyone's gonna like you.
Well, listen, man. What I will say is to keep this a little lighthearted. No comment you get will ever be as bad as what Sunio deals with on our YouTube channel every single week. Bro. So you never gotta worry.
Man, the stuff that they be like, I be scrolling through, and 90% of the comments are just like Sunio lost.
It's all Sunio. Yes. It's all.
I love when Sunio plays because I'm just like algorithm, baby. Let's go. Algorithm. We're getting that engagement today.
I will pay literally $1,000 to watch Sunio lose. I'm like, Jesus.
Yo, people get nasty in there, man.
He just wants the zone. Be more patient. I'm sorry.
He just play some RoboCop.
Yeah, he just wants to, throw some projectiles, keep you away. He's the opposite of Scorpion. It's not get over here, it's get over there.
He likes the social distance. That's all he likes to do. Like, it's just a problem. But they literally, man, Sunio gets so much. But it's like he kind of loves that. He kind of loves that.
He lives
for it. Like those two players that like they say they thrive on that hate.
Yeah.
Like give you more energy.
Yeah, man, you hate me? Ooh. That's what's like on commentary too. When there was like a negative comment, I'm like, feed me more. Yes. They call me Fat Pablo Escobar. That's what
that was like the one.
India.
That was the jab from Mr. Aquaman back in the day, right?
That was back in Combat Cup right there for all the people that have been around. Tento, I want to talk about CEO for a moment, and this will also probably be more so Frosty Fausting since that was really one of your first big offlines. But was there anything going in there that happened that you didn't expect as far as commentary goes? If you had done it online prior to offline, and anything about the show maybe, or just that setting that you thought?
Actually, I wanted to compare and contrast because, like I said, Frosty was pretty much the last event. Really, I'm not gonna say all FGC wise, but pretty decent size before the pandemic hit, and I'm gonna compare it to CEO. Like the atmosphere was different because first off, compared to Frosty, we not wearing masks. Everything needs to be sanitized. Everybody needs to keep away. They don't want to do too much. Frosty was like it was warming because people were flying in. It was like, oh yeah, this beginning of the year. It's because Frosty's always at the beginning of the year. All right, we starting off the year right. Meet the regionals. I met a lot of good people. I met most of the New York squad. That means K7, Splash. Who else? Also met.
I think that was grand finals.
Yeah, and then that was great fun as well. Brito Voorhees, I just met like a whole bunch of guys. Really great atmosphere. It was funny talking to like people like Renge and KP. They're from Florida, and every year Frosty we have a Frosty curse and it's snowing. So they're like, bro, all I brought was a sweater. Like I didn't know we cold. Like I'm about to it's cold up here. Like it was just it's so fun. Then you compare it to CEO. CEO is a much bigger event than Frosty, but now with the social distancing, it's like man, some people don't want to go because they're scared of the virus. CEO was ran great. It was a bigger venue, it was much more space. But then, like the biggest thing is like what I like to think about when you compare to the online you were just talking about. There was a lot of players, as you know. There was so many. We had so many new players for MK11 when it came to that online era. We had so many new faces. J Chan, Scar. Who else is a new person I saw in? Lankiness. Like those players coming out, being new, and it was so interesting because they didn't do as well as they expected, and some players like, bro, this doesn't work offline. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yep,
It doesn't work offline, does it? And I be had to tell people that it's like, well, I'm not saying disregard online. Online does matter in a sense, but offline is a different story. And there's a lot of those players like, man, this you can react to everything. Like my favorite thing was at We Play. I was watching Rewind stream. He was playing against VGY. He was like, bro, I can't do anything here. I'm like, why? Everyone reacts to staggers offline. Everyone, it's a whole different game. It's a whole different element. The biggest thing offline to compare to online is composure. You're sitting right next to your opponent, right next to a monitor, and you got people cheering behind you or cheering against you. You need to stay composed. It's more than anything now because if that gets to you and their opponent sees that, oh, okay.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's. If they know you're in, oh, it's over with. It's really hard to come back from that. So seeing that as CEO was just like honestly, it was still a great event though because it means so many people. And that's why I like to tell people as well is like when you go to an offline event, don't treat it like, oh my God, I gotta win the money. I gotta make my name big. I'm meeting my friends for the first. I have met I have friends in the UK now, in Russia, in
Yep.
South America, because we press buttons. That's fucking cool. That is cool, bro. I met so many people and had to hang out with so many people. I'm like, don't treat offline event that you travel to like I need to win the money. Treat it like a vacation.
Yeah, it's like a family reunion every time.
Mm-hmm.
You're meeting your friends, or you're reuniting with your friends again. You're hanging out. You're having fun. You're not playing the buttons. Y'all getting drunk. Y'all eating food. It is great. It's
Listen,
really a great
most
time.
people go to an event, with an intention on winning. I go there with the intention on losing as quickly as possible so I can go to the bar with my buddies and have a good time. But that's different strokes for different folks right there. But you're right, man. That offline setting is it's different. It's 100% different.
The Mash House homies. I love the Texas boys. Whenever they boy got a hit, yeah, you just hear
Listen, man.
shouting.
Hey, can we talk about a Tento real quick? There's been a lot of shift in Texas since the infamous 10v10 Texas versus Florida. That's where I'm going with this. And Tento made the face.
That event was so. I was so happy that event happened.
Since then, I feel like most of us have fallen off that were representing Texas. Meanwhile, up at Mash House, the hyperbolic time chamber of Texas, when it comes to competitive MK11, apparently, have been grinding their ass off, and now they have an entire list of players that would that. I feel like there was extra intention for that Texas crew to go to Florida and be as rowdy as possible, and I feel like we're getting close to having the run back because of that. Because Mash House has been putting Texas even further on the map.
When I truthfully says, I love the Mash House homies. I cannot wait to go down there. I plan on going to Texas Showdown in April, but them boys, I should see you there. Yeah, I love them. Like their energy is amazing. That's what I miss the most. Like,
oh, dude, going to Mash House, the energy was like it was old school FGC.
Like I don't know if there was a set, but I wanted to see on stream Mash House versus the T7 crew so bad. Oh my God, the difference in that makes a difference, and people don't look like. Honestly, I was going back to that. What was that? I think that was Chubby McChubbers versus Alcatraz match. Mash House Holmes was cheering him on. I think that that little propel actually made him win because I remember Big D was like, Alcatraz should have this because he was going by the tournament veteran status. Yeah. But I was like, no, McChubbers is actually he's good, but he also has his homies behind him. Like they were cheering him on, and people don't know that boost of morale does help you a lot, and it also gets to your opponent. Now,
all that tells me, Tento, is where were the OD boys at having their boys back? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw. I got this. I saw Too Easy.
They were probably still competing.
They were, yeah, they were all over the place, boys. I missed OD boys too, because real life stuff happens, as you know.
Yeah.
I don't think Atai actually showed up and all that stuff too. He might have made a short appearance, but I don't remember. But like, real life stuff does happen for a lot of people. But yeah, that Mash House and T7 crew, they came to represent, and they sure as hell did. They sure as hell did, and that's what I do miss. Like I remember people like, bro, they're right behind me yelling. That's a part of the offline. That's an element that you need to practice on because I'm sorry, nobody's gonna show that crowd of people behind it cheering on your boy. It's not at all.
And you can't practice that at home sitting in your living room.
No,
That's
you
not something
cannot.
you practice. You got to get out there and you got to face the wrath of 15 dudes yelling for their boy sitting right next to you, man.
Yeah.
But I actually want to.
Man, when it was I lost my first match at Combo Breaker. The first MK11 first came out because I go against this dude named Flawzilla, and it was MIT and DJT's training partner. So they behind him cheering him on. I'm over here. You're getting trained by Evo Champion. I'm gonna.
And I'm over here using an analog stick.
Oh no, he's already beat himself mentally.
I got destroyed. That got to my head. So you're getting cheered on by Evo Champion. I'm about to lose. That's just in my head. That was
right there. It's already no. You already lost at that moment.
I'm about to lose. And it was first to 2.
GG. And you use analog stick. Double GG. Triple GG.
And it was Gears pre-patch.
Quadruple GG.
Wait. Who are you using?
I was using Noob.
I respect it. I respect the play. I respect the new play. But I actually wanted to bank off something that you said that I don't even know how my brain went down this way, but something I really respected something that you said when we met at MK&J a couple of months ago. But you said that you're going to go down to Texas, and that just made my brain go down this path. I remember talking to you either right before commentary or right after we were done with commentary, and you told me that you were from Chicago, and I was like, oh, that's sick. Like, what are you doing in New Jersey? You're like, I'm here to commentate this event. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, you flew from Chicago to New Jersey for a 2-hour commentary block at MK&J. And right away, I had the utmost respect for you because I was like, that proves one thing. This dude is fucking hungry. So if you could speak to that a little bit, like what in your mind were you like, at what point were you just like, you know what? If I want to take this, I got to fucking take it. What made you realize that? And what made you really just go for it? Because flying to fucking middle of New Jersey randomly for a 2-hour commentary block, bro, I was like kind of complaining that I got to drive an hour. You fucking went to an airport for this commentary block. Like that just showed me how hungry you were. And if you could just speak to that a little bit, because I feel like that's something that's really lost these days, is that true hunger.
It's still hungry, yeah. First, it was because Arma hit me up because he said he wanted. He was like, "I loved your commentary." I almost had a nerd moment again for that because it was funny. Oh my god! At the Injustice 2 Pro Series, I went to the finale. It was in Chicago, and I saw Arma. I was like, "Hey, yo, Arma, what do I need to do for commentary?" He's like, "You just grind. You make yourself out there. You put your name out there. You do your thing." I'm like, "That's it." He's like, "You do your thing."
That was solid advice.
2 years later. Hey, I loved your commentary at it was at Viz's event in the BGX event Retribution where Dragon and them came.
Yeah.
In Philly. I literally commentated the whole event. I commentated that and Arma's like, I really like your commentary. I'm like, Arma, did you when you talked? He was like, oh my god, that was you.
Wasn't that the event where I swear every time I tuned into the stream, Tento had less clothes on because it was so hot? In the video.
It's unfortunate that the AC system did.
I was like, Tento's just gonna be naked in grand finals at this point.
We were drinking also, but like we were.
That too.
Attitude. It was 90. It was 95 degrees in Philly, and then the air conditioner sadly had broke. But then it got on later on. But then that's also when the drinks kicked in. So I was like, you know what? It's gonna be tank top Tento for real now. So,
tank top Tento, baby.
Tank top Tento for real. But it was that moment that Arma said, okay, first off, Arma wanted to be there. I look up to Arma as well because that was the person I also watched compensate for the longest. Two, like I said, that's time to meet friends. I got to meet Flashyy, got to meet Zork, the Goons, Kakoi, Unjust, Splash. Just got to all see all of them. And then also like that was my second time going to the East Coast. But I've never been to New Jersey. It's like I just want to take the time to travel. I'm young. I want to travel. I want to see the world.
Like it.
Also want to like I said, put my name out there. I feel like right now, especially with things like games like Project Ale about to come out, like this is the time, especially for me, since I'm young and I'm needing to put myself out there to get that drive so I could get my my resume up, people to start noticing, and so I can move forward with that. So I'm like, I need to take opportunities where I have to. Any little chance you get, you don't get chances by just sitting around. You get chances by taking initiative.
Dude, I mean,
fuck yes, dude.
Bold
Fuck
that
yes.
one right there.
Yep.
Can we bold that one, because so many people, Tento, and this is me gonna get a little bit feisty real quick. And Flashy knows I rarely get feisty on this thing, but so many people sit back and expect something to be handed to them.
Mm-hmm.
So many people, and thank you for saying that. That's it. That's it.
That's the level of feistiness that we're gonna get. He's holding himself
a lot
back.
of people sit there and they complain when opportunities come up and they don't get it, when they've done 6 months of doing nothing.
So what have you done? What have you done? And that's but to counter what you just said, I always say, like, my favorite quote. I don't know if I quoted this, but patience is always rewarded with an opportunity. However, you need to be able to look at that opportunity and say, okay, I need to move forward. The opportunity is going to present itself, but you need to act on it. As we just said, you need to take that initiative on it. When I saw MK New Jersey, I was like, okay, I need to go. Really, the BGX event actually is, shout out to Viz, but that's the one that really got me really noticed. I noticed because it was so last minute. I noticed he was doing it, and this is his first event. I'm like, you don't have any commentators, do you? You probably just going to be on the... You need a commentator for the event? He's like, I probably do. And then ended up, he really didn't need me because, like I said, I commentated pretty much 5 hours straight, just me nonstop on the mic throughout the whole event, all the way up to grand finals. And then Gur ended up taking over Woozy. It was crazy. It was crazy.
So you reached out to him asking if you could commentate his event.
Yeah. No, that was actually, I'll take that back. He didn't ask me. I took the initiative. Like, I was like, do you need a I messaged him. I was like, do you need a commentator? He was like, I actually do. Like, he probably wasn't going to even hit me. I was like, you know what? I need to take initiative of this, take advantage. I don't think he has one. Let me ask. And then that's what ended up happening.
And this is the same thing that happened here at the Kolosseum, like almost a year ago, maybe 9 months ago or something. I literally just DM'd Aquaman. I was like, hey, you don't have an editor? You need an editor. And now here we are, we got the KoloCast, we're doing the YouTube uploads, we're doing all that. Because I took that step to just toot my own horn real quick. I took that step to reach out to him and be like, hey,
Flashy.
I know, right? I always just sit back and I always...
Plus, you've been doing a great job. Like, I always make sure, like, you and QR have been doing their thing in the background. Y'all been doing great. This event, Kolosseum looks great. Cast looks great. I love the KoloCast idea. The YouTube is going great. I love that.
Woo! Fuck yeah, man. That fires me up. But that's real shit, dude. Like, you said you reached out to somebody, you flew to fucking Philly, you did an event, and now the dominoes start to fall because you took that initiative on that opportunity. Same thing with me. I took the initiative, I reached out to Aquaman, and now the dominoes start falling, right? So you got to go out there, you got to put yourself out there, and dude, I fucking respect that, man. And like I said, the second you told me that when we were meeting, I was like, yo, I respect this dude's fucking grind. That's legit. That's sick.
Flashy, let's give the people a little bit of extra info here today, in that he flew to that event, and speaking of hunger, he finished a 6-hour drive and then jumped on this call.
Literally.
He finished a 6-hour straight drive and then hopped on this podcast. I think out of pure hunger at this point, because my Hollywood ass would have been like, nah.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'll see you next week.
Nah, let me sleep. But Tento, that was one of the things I wanted to bring up, is that, man, I mean, you drove 6 hours and joined us here, and you've been joining us every single Sunday. And I appreciate that. But there's one thing I want to say in particular, and that is if you go to your Twitter, which is right there at Tento4_, and you guys go to his profile, this will appear on the video, but his pinned tweet, I'm going to read it for you guys. I don't think y'all understand how serious I take commentary. It's my passion. I want to improve and be at the front line of the new generation of commentators in the FGC. That tweet right there is why you're in the Kolosseum right now.
It really is? Oh, man. Truly, like, but yeah, that statement is
I saw that tweet, and that is someone that knows what they want. They have a passion for it. And through all the things that we've talked about already on this show, is why you put yourself in a great position to be a commentator. The passion's there, the work is there, the work ethic is there. Because I half expected when I first heard you to be a radio host, if I'm being honest with you. But it's just so smooth. But that's what I love about you, Tento, is that you have that essence to be a commentator, and it shows.
Yeah, it's like, because I see this, what's been going on at FGC is like, we have just like we have no offense, but like a lot of old heads going against new heads. Not saying you old head, man.
I am.
He's old.
No, I am. I'll admit.
He's old.
But we have a lot of old heads and new heads going in, and then like not saying that there is stuff changing, and I'm not. If I have to be a leader, I do not mind being a leader at all. But there's going to come a time where some people like, you know what, I'm done. I'm tired. It's been enough. I gave my heart and soul to this. I feel like I completed enough. I'm stepping back. And there's some people that need to step up. And
That's
I
right.
feel like straight up, like I want to be in that front end, not just MK, but other games as well. Like I said, I've been doing Dragon Ball. I want to start doing Guilty Gear as well. When Street Fighter comes out, I want to get on that. Like I truthfully want to be in that front line because people are like there's gonna be that clash and new people need to rise up straight up. So I want to be there. I want to make that happen. I want to pave the way for newer people. And that's why I feel like I just need to improve on commentary, improve in all these aspects because I want to be there for this new generation of FGC coming in, truthfully. I have a vision. Man. I want to make sure it happens.
Well, I know that one fired you up.
Oh yeah, I'm super fired up, and just to make you feel great as well. Again, we had History Behind the Warrior on this show, and he told me the same exact thing when he was on the show. He told us a little bit of advice that I gave him when we first met, and it was I might have been the same exact combo breaker, Tento, that we met. I met History Behind the Warrior for the first time. I think it may have been the year after. I don't remember, but he asked me the same exact question you asked Arma at the finals. And he walked up to me and he goes, dude, I want to be a commentator. What do I need to do? Because so many people, there's kind of two parts to this story. I'm all over the place, guys. Is a lot of people kind of look at commentary and they look for the pro tour and then like announcers or commentary gets announced and they're like, okay, it's the same 6 people and that's it. Or they'll think that there's no chance to get anywhere, that it's always going to be the same people, that we don't need more commentators, and it just goes away, and a lot of people get demotivated because of that. And guys like you still remaining hungry because, like you said, we're not going to be around forever, and I speak from experience when I say that we do need more commentators in this space. I'm always looking for commentators. I know people are always looking for commentators. And you have the right mentality right there of, again, filling those shoes. And the advice I gave him was, be as active as possible to get your name out there, to do as many things as you can possible. If you love commentary, are you ready for this line? If you love commentary, you should commentate. Do you know how many people come to me and they're like, I want to be a commentator. Okay, have you commentated? No. Okay, well then step 1, commentate.
There you go.
And then keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Practice. Guys, I don't even consider myself a commentator. I've just done it for fun this entire time. I'm like fucking 7 years in, and I'm making it up as I go because I'm just having fun with it. I didn't think I was going to be a commentator, Tento. The complete opposite, in fact, is I started hosting events, and I love bringing people together. That's where my passion is, bringing people together. And commentary came because it saved money on one of the series that I ran. If I was producing it, helping run it, and if I did commentary, we saved on a commentator on the payroll, and so it just made sense. And then people liked it. And
going to save money, help me out.
And circle of life here. That's where I get my commentary from. Right over here, the '90s WWE. The boys in the back right there. And so that's where I started off, just screaming at the top of my lungs, just thinking it was a WWE match. Oh my God,
And he still does that.
Yeah. And then I refined it over the years, but dude, it's just been honest. It's been great to get to know you here on the KoloCast.
Yes, it's crazy. Like, it's been crazy. And then thinking that quote you guys just said, like, they don't take that chance and they don't know, like, the other guys, like people like you guys have been in this for years. What I love it, like, but remember when, what do you call it? What's the guy's name? Maximilian did the event for MKX.
Yes.
What about? And then Slayer was like, there were some people did like, this is what I love about Slayer, like being in Slayer's Demon Time. There's so many like newer people that come in that don't know the history, and then Slayer talk about the history that I've been in for a minute. Me and him just go back and forth about some of these things, and they was like, how does Maximilian have so many people? I'm like, you guys don't understand. Saying like, sorry for my links. This man built that shit up from the ground up. He's been in here for years. Same thing goes for us, but good speaking of history, years. Him dedicating his life to YouTube and gaming was led him to that point. Same thing, like people like you. Like in the commentators that they maybe like the same 6 commentators, UKP, years of you constantly playing the game, commentating, putting yourself out there. You guys built yourself up to that. People don't understand. People come in to see y'all like, oh, they've been around, right? You've constantly seen them because they've been.
Or they expect instant success that matches that. That's another thing that kills a lot of people, Tento and Flashyy. It kills a lot of people in this community is that they come in and no matter what you want to do, if you want to be a player, if you want to be a streamer, if you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to be a commentator, you look at the MK community and you go, okay, cool, ketchup and mustard. They're doing some tutorials on YouTube or whatever, and I love doing tutorials on YouTube, and they have hundreds of thousands of views. Yeah, I'm gonna do it, and then they don't get hundreds of thousands of views, and then they give up. And you know they or they start complaining because they don't get that results when they don't see the years of effort that went into whatever craft they're trying to do.
Time. It takes
I absolutely
time.
agree. Absolutely. And yeah, man, that's and Tento said it before. It's just like you just got to be your best self. He was talking more so about like not pleasing everybody, but it's like if you're your best self, you're not going to be worried about those 5 views.
Yeah.
If you're your best self, you know that you're going to continue to improve and those views are going to turn into 10, 15, 20, moving up. But now, Tento, I had a question for you.
Okay.
So you are relatively new to commentary. I think like at this point you said you're like 2 years in or something. So I'm interested to hear this.
Okay.
You said you commentated multiple games and you want to commentate multiple games. We had Nikki on the show last week, and he said something interesting that I know Aquaman really enjoyed, where he was like, when he went to go play Injustice, he found that he got better at Killer Instinct. Do you find that when you went to go commentate Dragon Ball, you came back and you were a better Mortal Kombat commentator?
Yes, for 2 reasons. Because you have to play the game that you commentate. I 100% agree that you have to play the game that you commentate. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I cannot perform a combo in Dragon Ball Fighters for shit. However, I understand the core mechanics of the game. What I did when I started playing, and then it also led to you like once you go into a different field, you can take things from that field. Not everything, but there's some aspects of like that goes along with this. I never thought of it from this way. Perspective is key. I'm gonna do something.
I thought we were gonna show.
You're gonna see Tento in a second. Tento's not coming up. But got a tattoo here. My arm.
Did you forget what side it was on right there?
I did forget. But perspective. Hey, I did. Because I was looking at the camera.
That'll fuck you up.
I got you.
The flip.
But the tattoo says perspective is key. Perspective is key. And I put it in Japanese. Why? Because I want to learn a different language. You always need to look at something from a different perspective in order to understand it. If I draw a 6 right here, from my angle, it looks like a 6. From you guys' angle, it looks like a 9. We're both right in that category, but we need to see it from a different point of view. And that's why I like to tell people, until you look at something from a different point of view and understand those other options, you won't fully understand the grasp of the situation. And you also learn more about even yourself because of that. Please edit the part out while I looked at my wrong arm.
Oh no, that's staying in. That's
staying in. I'm sorry.
Good.
I'm
I
not
love
sorry,
it was like a super deep moment, and then there was just that in the middle of it.
But like, yeah, that like I did improve because of my Dragon Ball commentary because I noticed some things with that, and then I had like that's fast paced, and then going back to methodical pace of like kind of MK11, it's changed, and I need to notice that too, and that's why I looked at comparing my commentary clips. I'm like, wow, I noticed how much I had to change my tempo because the game is different. That's also part of the thing you have to do, and you need to have that versatility to show yourself that you can even be better.
Dude, this is fucking. How are you 22, man? You're talking like an old, wise, like 70-year-old man, bro.
I get told that so much. Like in real life, like some people look at me like you can't be 22.
There's no way.
Like once you like going to my personal life, I've been through a lot of things when I was younger, and I am the oldest. So like it's just like I had to change my mindset in certain categories. And I had to realize like, hey, like some things not gonna fly. Some things you got to learn from faster, and you got to go. You got to do that. I had to be in certain situations. I'm like, okay, I can't play around anymore. I need to step it up, and that's just how I am. That's just my mindset just now today. So I can have fun. Don't get me wrong. I have fun. I'll joke around, but like when it comes down to the nitty gritty, I need to be serious. I'm gonna get things done. Just simple as that.
Whoo! Shit, man. But yeah, speaking of having fun, I love sitting back and watching you and Aquaman on Sunday nights, man. For any reason to take a shot, you guys find it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
literally, it doesn't fucking matter. If there's any reason, oh, they just hit a back throw. Okay, let's take a shot, Aquaman. Let's go.
Are we doing one right now, Tento?
This man just drove. He's got the bottle.
And it's going on YouTube, so hey. But no, like one of the things on my bucket list was say I'm like, I want to drink with Aquaman. Like, I really want to be able to drink with Aquaman one day. Like, this is
Cheers, gentlemen. That's hilarious. Yo, he's got that shit right next to his chair, ready to go for Sunday nights and any other night.
literally. Like, I want to be able to drink with Aquaman. Like, I was like, I want to like have fun and like be able to commentate with this man. Because like, I remember when he first hit me up to comment. The first time I ever commentated with Aquaman was this is when this stars aligned. It was the Kolosseum season 1. It was during pool. It was on a Sunday. I had all work off, and I was just chilling. Like, what am I going to do today? Tento, can you commentate for Kolosseum? No, wait. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Oh my God, I got the opportunity. That was like, it was crazy. Just like in that moment, I'm like, literally, all my jobs. Like, I was that was back when I worked 3 jobs, but all 3 jobs. I gotta get stuff done, like I said. But all 3 jobs, I had to. They were just off, and I was like, "Oh my God, he actually."
Wow, that is some stars aligning. That is crazy.
Like personal life wise, I paid for community college by myself. I didn't have any student loans. I mean, any loans or so I worked 4 jobs at one point during the semester to get through, and then once I graduated with my communications degree, I paid everything out of pockets, and I literally just worked
Grinding.
literally 9 to 2 in class, and then 3 to 11 at work. Homework till about 1 or 2 a.m. Repeat. Like, that's all I did, and then that's why I got to graduate. My degree is literally right here, but yeah, it's just like that's all I did. You just grind during that time, because like if I'm not gonna get it done, I gotta get it done.
Nobody's gonna get it done for you. You gotta be the one to do it, man.
Yeah,
And that's
and
the hunger. That's what we love to hear around here, dude. And let me tell you, that hunger's gonna take you real fucking far. Farther than anybody could be, man. That's what it takes out here. And again, like I said, when you flew to fucking New Jersey for a 2-hour commentary block, I was like, this dude wants it. And those are the people that go get it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Tento, it's been an honor having you on here, and I'm gonna leave the floor to you. All right now, to say whatever you want, to give any shout outs you want. The floor is yours, my friend. Guys, follow him at Tento4_ on Twitter. It's right there.
Right there. Shout outs first off. Shout outs to Slayer for giving me that opportunity. He also shooted me up when it came to commentary wise, because I was commentating every night at the Demon Hour. I also got my name up. Shout out to Viz, because without that event, that wouldn't happen. Shout outs to Armor. Shout outs to you for giving me the opportunity that I need to be. And then when it comes to my Twitch side of things, big shout outs to everybody that supports me through views or whatnot. My Twitch is at Tento4. I stream whenever I can because work is so busy, but I usually try to stream on Sundays before I commentate the Kolosseum. I'm doing retro games right now. In the near future, I just need to get a better PC, but I want to start running events myself, not just for MK, but other games as well. Like I said, I need to start expanding and whatnot. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Like, I'm really just a person, like, when I say, well, if you mess with me, you mess with me. If you don't, you don't. Don't hop on the bandwagon. I don't really like bandwagoners. If I know people that mess with me now, like, you went out your way, and you anybody that comes after that, I'm not saying you're not welcome, but I know you weren't the real ones, if that makes sense. And then yeah, Black Lives do matter. That's about all I have to say.
Tento, fucking awesome getting to know you a little bit more, man. Again, that little commentary block was not enough. I loved hearing that story, and like I said, dude, that hunger, that drive that you have is so refreshing to see, especially in such young talent. So please, dude, keep it up. Every Sunday with you and Aquaman is an absolute treat, and I know that there's gonna be more events with you and Aquaman. I think that's absolutely awesome. Of course, everybody will give him a follow. We appreciate you guys listening to another episode of the KoloCast. We're gonna catch you guys next week for another one. We'll see you then. Peace.